We will move to number 7.5. Consider adopting resolution number 25-05, evidencing support of the proposed aesthetics and the respective cost of the U.S. Highway 377 Breakout Project.
Thank you, Mayor. Carla, is it possible for you to open Exhibit A for that? Perfect. And could you go to page 15 in that slide deck? Oh, I don't know if it's numbered that way in your slide deck.
Here's this, whatever.
Yeah. You're doing good. Keep going. There you go. Stop. Go back to that one. Yeah. Page 59 in this slide deck. What I was reading was, I guess I need bifocals.
There you go.
So let me just tell y'all how we got to where we're at today and what we're trying to accomplish. We are in no fashion approving anything financially to guarantee anything other than the general sense of the council is to move this direction, and that's why it's in the form of a resolution instead of an ordinance. The city staff, planning staff, engineering, public works, myself, deputy city manager, assistant city manager, all sat in many meetings with Half Associates to work on the aesthetics for the highway project. So on this page, you can see on the left side, that's the standard in which TxDOT would normally build this project. And so we wanted to see about aesthetic improvements, and so we put together numerous selected enhancements. For instance, instead of those round concrete pillars on the left, we've suggested a concrete pillar with stamped concrete that goes up to that beam, and then a little architectural feature on the top with the star and the circle. And also we selected colors instead of this being plain. And so that's where we kind of got started. And like I say, this took about a dozen meetings with these engineers to refine this to get it to the point we're looking at today. And we have had these engineers here, and they've showed you the slide deck in the past. If you could go to the next page, Carla. So this is a good shot of what Paluxy Road Bridge could look like. You can see on the left what it would look like without the enhancements, and then on the right. Now then, that is a special concrete paint that is applied to that material. You also see that those little cathedral windows that are on that bridge, those are aesthetics compared to the solid Jersey barrier on the left picture. And so we feel like as people come through Granbury, especially from the north and the south, that we want to make a statement that we are an exceptional community, and this is a great place to live, work, and play. And so that was a motivating factor of trying to make this look more appealing as you drive through our community. If you go to that next slide, you can see the standard wall would be a gray wall with some sort of a normal pattern. We suggested that we look at the selected enhancement, go with the color. The concrete itself is stamped, and it's in panels, and they fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. And so they're colored that color, and then the trim would have that sand color. And so you can see that. You can also see in the background those light poles that we'll talk about in a little bit. And where there's a fence required, that's a barrier that may or may not be included. I don't think we have a requirement for that fence anywhere. Only where you have a railroad underneath a bridge do you need a fence. If you go to the next slide, you can see the difference in the columns or the signage poles. The one on the right is the black that we selected. The one on the left is the galvanized coloration. So, I mean, you can see imagine the difference of the galvanized piping or metal in correlation with the gray concrete, whereas we're proposing black metal with the sandstone or limestone colored masonry or block walls. So you kind of get the idea of the enhancement. And then the next page, that's the intersection at Paluxy Road as it relates to the pedestrian crossing. And we're talking about some kind of a stamped concrete, ADA compliant, On the left, you can see what it looks like. Everything's monotone with the poles, and the crosswalk is delineated simply by that painted stripe. The enhancement over to the right would be the stamped concrete colored with the contrast that ADA requires, and also underneath, like that center median, it doesn't have rocks, like chunks of rocks. It's got actual concrete stamp to be maintenance free. By the way, we're going to be responsible for the maintenance either way, so that's something to think about. And then you can see that we looked at different patterns and stuff, so at the end of the day, you can kind of see the direction we headed with that 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers there. The next page, please. So there's the street lights themselves where they are. This will populate all the way through town, is what we envision as we move forward from the breakout phase all the way to 2040. We'll have these black light poles. It's what we suggest. And I believe that we chose the middle picture is what I believe we chose. Yes, it is. And the one on the right, the far right, we did not choose that look. We choose the other. And you can see it's got the city logo on the Biloxi sign. And so those are small details, but they add up to make a big difference. I think there's one more page. Those are some more enhancements. Instead of the typical TxDOT Cobra headlight, we selected the decorative lights like we have around town already. And they would be black with the acorn lantern at the top. And there's some information there related to the lumens and what have you. We'll deal with all that as we come along. I think the important part is we wanted about 3,000 K instead of 6,500, which makes it a little warmer light, and we don't want a big blue light as you're coming across that bridge. And let's go to the next slide. So there's a barrier that's required in some areas, especially with the bridge. You can see that standard barrier. And then on the lake bridge itself, the top picture on the right is what we're dealing with for the exterior of that bridge. So when you're driving by it from the lake, that's what you would see. You'd see those light poles. You would see those columns, those decorative columns. You notice they're not the same cathedral-style hole on the Biloxi River Bridge or the Biloxi Highway Bridge. It's more decorative, and it is the centerpiece of our community as people come through town. The awe of driving across the lake and seeing the lake for the first time possibly, and the aesthetics that go along with that. On the interior of the bridges, you would have that black iron. Also on the interior of the bridge, from that from the number 1 slide on the right to the number 2 slide, there is a 10-foot trail that goes between there, and then you've got your traffic lanes. And then on the interior lane, you would also have another one of those interior vehicular barrier with the black, and that's mounted on top of concrete. You can kind of see that was another option at the very bottom there with the cathedral. But for the Brazos River Bridge, if you're looking at it from the lake, either side of the lake, you're going to see that decorative sandstone colored concrete barrier with the lights mounted on that. And then there's a 10-foot walk path on both sides, north and south side of that bridge. And then you'll have this iron black structure to protect the pedestrians from car traffic. And so that's the direction that we've headed. And you can kind of see it in type down at the bottom left. It says type C 402. That's the way that black would look. That metal part is the black. And you can see this same configuration on Chisholm Trail. It's painted green with the beige. So that gives you an idea. If you're over in that area, just take a glance at that and see that. And so it's very functional. It's very affordable. Wasn't as expensive as some of the other options we were considering. And the next one. So there you can see it again. And then, yeah, go to the next one. We suggested putting some lights underneath the bridge. Our bridge doesn't necessarily going to look like that. We don't know what the bottom of our bridge is going to look like, but This is an illustration of another bridge somewhere else in Texas that they used to illustrate their LED lights, and they can be, the color can be changed. They're LED, so you can work with them any way you want. So, and then the next one, I think there was, yeah, we chose no art. Okay, there were some options here for us to choose art, but we chose no art, and so we're looking at the limestone. Bottom left, recommended options, buff and sand, limestone walls, and the trim, it would be in the buff. And then, again, no art. And then what we're going to do in the future is apply for grant funding with TxDOT for the landscaping features that we want. These are just some different areas. We're talking about wildflower seeding and shade trees where we can. But all in all, we're not addressing landscaping at this point in time in this conversation tonight. But I wanted you to see that's being considered as we move forward. It's going to have to be addressed, and they do have a grant program to work with us on that. So, again, we'll have to maintain it just like we do all the other areas that we've used their grant funding to plant trees and grass and wildflowers in the past. We all love our bluebonnets. We want to make sure that we have bluebonnets when it's over with. The center median, you can see that. We're going to go with some kind of landscaping instead of a rock or something. So that's going to require mowing and maintenance, and so that's, some of those options are still yet to be determined. These are some ideas that we can have as we go forward. We voted out decomposed granite. We voted that out, and ornamental grass is preferred and recommended. So that's kind of where we're headed with grass and landscaping, and we might be able to do some xeriscape like pictured so that it's not a water hog to take care of this. But again, that'll go into the grant project for the landscape enhancements. Next slide. I was hoping to find the slide with the columns for the bridge. Maybe that's the next slide. Keep going. I don't know where it is. Maybe here's something. Nope. Keep going. All right, so you can see the Breakout Project in the highlighted area. And so what we're talking about for right now is that shaded area. It's kind of got the green tone for the cost estimate that's in your packet here as an exhibit. I'm not sure they've got a diverging diamond intersection drawn there, but
Yeah, they do.
I'm not sure that's what that is. Yeah,
It's right there.
yeah, it's
That's
not.
what exists right now.
Yeah. Next page. There's the diverging diamond. There you go. So you can see the changes coming. And next slide. I appreciate everybody's involvement in helping TxDOT in their public comment process, and they listen to the council about your concerns, and they've incorporated the concerns that you talked about. So as we move forward, we end up with something that everybody likes. Next slide, please. So you can kind of see the purple is intersections, green is raised median, orange is a side path, the main road obviously is yellow, the bridge is brown, various ramps for traffic. There's some new ramps involved, you can see that. Then where we have walls, retaining walls, where we're talking about that stamped concrete being the wall, you can see that in blue, and then the frontage road is the magenta or whatever that may be, that light color, pink. Next. There's sections of it. I'm not sure we can need to go there. Next section. So you can see that focus areas, landscape enhancement. Yeah, they were trying to get us to do some kind of airport distinction theme. We didn't want that art. Now they may put some signage up that says airport, you know, but they were trying to encourage some artwork, you know, and to be on those retaining walls. So that's not us. We're a town of history, so.
It won't be in this intersection.
No, it won't be anywhere. I think that's the Biloxi, or the Pirate Drive. And next. Next.
There you go. Let's see.
There's Biloxi. It turns in everything there, doesn't it? It's really something how we need to, you'll be able to access the hospital from 377, which is very important. New access. I was really surprised that the water tower gets to stay. That's the Welcome to Granbury sign on that side of town, so to speak. And then next, you can kind of see some features. A lot of landscaping to be considered. Next. There you go again, next. And you can probably skip through all this detail and the diverging diamond intersection. Going to make our life better, they say. Next. I believe them. I love it over at the Colony, by the way. I've seen it there. And next. So visualization. Next. That's standard versus what we're talking about. Standard versus that. You see the difference. Let's look at the next one. I think that's what I've been looking for. On each corner of the bridge, there'll be two on both sides, on the north side and two on the south side. And it'll be lighted with LED that says Granbury on it. Kind of like Chisholm Trail has a artwork of the Trinity River on their columns when you get to that river part of the Chisholm Trail. It's a good comparison if you're driving that way. You can see kind of the idea. And then next, I think that's about it. Yeah, we did away with the aviation theme, any kind of art. We thought also that if we wanted to add art, we've got a Cultural Arts Commission that would be more than happy to enlist artists to do a project and present to them and present to y'all what it could be. But that can be added after this whole project's over. So next, that was another art. Railroad tracks. Yeah. They had all kinds of ideas for us. We rejected them all. Columns, we chose the far right. Some more ideas they had. All right, so that gives you an idea. If you could open up Exhibit B is the estimate. And what reason I brought this in the form of resolution to y'all is it's time for us to tell the design team with Half and Associates and TxDOT, this is the general idea of what we're wanting to do. And this cost that's on Exhibit B, it's about $2.7 million, is not firm. I mean, if you, in 2 years, the price of paving has gone up astronomically over 65%. So this is part of paving project, and we don't know what it'll cost yet, but they're going to put it into the final plans, if y'all are in agreement with it. At some point, they will bring back what they call an advance funding agreement, and they will ask us to take that to the council and get it approved and write a check to them for the amount of what's projected to be. And then when the bids actually come in, and if it's more, we'll have to pay that difference at some point through the project. And if it's less, we'll certainly be refunded. So that's kind of the way this works. And so before I told them, hey, this is what we want, I wanted to bring it by y'all one last time. I know y'all seen all this in the past at least once, but I've seen it so many times I forgot how many, you know. And that's kind of where we're at. Any questions, anything you want to, that you're diametrically opposed to, we'd like to change? Consensus is you like it or you don't like it, just tell us what you want to do. And if you're in agreement for me to tell them that the selections that have been made are good to go, then I will tell them that, and they will incorporate those into the blueprints of the project.
Council? Comments? Yeah, I applaud the work again, you and your staff, that you bring us a high-quality product.
I would like to shout out for Joanne Kamen. She has extensive experience in this line of work and was front and center on this all the way, and we want to thank her for that. It's very, very helpful to have her assist with all that.
Go ahead.
See, I know when you drive around and you just see the standard stuff, drive down the interstate and it's just a standard overpass, and then you go through a city where they've spent a little bit extra They've done it in Fort Worth, they've done it in Dallas, I mean, all over the place. It really stands out. When you see these overpasses that are all, they're just dressed up. And I never really understood, why is it this way some places and not others? Who paid for that? Now I know. But it really will make our city a much more attractive place to drive into when you're the first time here, whether you've been here for years. I think it'll make everybody proud of it.
The comment that I have about is, I know that there's been conversations with the judge, county judge, about dark city, dark county, dark sky city, and dark sky county. This lighting that we have here more than likely accommodates that.
Yeah, in fact, it's the light fixtures that we have a cape over the top to prevent the light from going north up to the heavens.
Right.
It directs it to the ground. And so also, it's not going to be a bright blue light or something like that. It's going to be a warm temperature lighting system. And yeah, there is more lights, but you're required to have lights for pedestrian areas, and they do have to shine down, and they're directional. They're designed especially for that, to light the pedestrian area and also for the street area. Our goal is to not light the lake with it, but to light the street with it.
Right.
And so there will be, blinds on the lakeside that would prevent that from happening. And the light underneath the bridge would be a nice feature for people boating, safety feature for sure.
Sure.
But I can see them, doing a lot of fishing around those blue lights or whatever as they, as crappie season comes around. So, but they've got a lot of work to get there. So, we're trying to get this off the ground in fall of 2027, and we've got to move our utilities by the end of 2026. So, got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, there are a few of us at a meeting today with TxDOT. I guess there are about 30 engineers there, or Skip said, ask, I'm not sure what they all did, but it was engineers out of Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, all working on the plans for 377. I'm tired of working on the plans. I want to dig some dirt, but we're not there yet. But we do have to get this up front as well. Good work. So, any other questions, comments? I hear a motion to, encourage Mr. Kaufman to continue on and
Just pass the resolution,
pass this resolution. So,
2505.
let me get that. If you put the resolution back up, Ms. Walker. Or I can read it right here. To have a motion to adopt resolution number 2505, evidencing support of the proposed aesthetics and respective cost of the U.S. Highway 377 Breakout Project.
So moved.
Mr. Overdeer makes a motion,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Allen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. I hear no nays, no noes. That'll be 6-0. Passes 6-0.